We have Gary Cow. He serves as VP of Business Development at Dealpath. And previously, he was a product manager of enterprise at Conjoya, which was acquired by Ultimate Software. And he was practice lead at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Gary, great to have you on today.
Thanks, Hazel, and hi, everyone. It's great to speak here today. So as Hazel mentioned, as a brief background, I work and cover business development and operations at Dealpath, work on a number of strategic initiatives here, which includes working with a number of our clients on their data strategy and optimization as they build out the roadmap for that work. So just as a quick background, we work with real estate investment management firms around deploying deal management solutions. And for today, we'd love to go through 3 common trends we've seen throughout the past few years around this kind of journey, as well as take you through 2 brief case studies that our clients have kind of gone through with us to show how they kind of completed that as well. So with any initiative, it's important to understand and map out what the long-term outcomes are. Similarly, it's also important to ensure that you are gaining value creatively throughout the process. So, what we've often seen as the first step of a journey is oftentimes simply beginning the process of digitizing your process so that your team can continue to work and focus on their priorities. From that point, you can actually take a more iterative approach around what to improve on and new functionalities to adopt from. So some commonalities we've seen across the workflow optimizations include things like user and access management, data completeness, requirements and governance around that, approval workflows, standardizing dashboards, reports to simplify visibility, and ultimately we want to help ensure that the competitive insights and data is flowing in once you have things stood up. The other thing we're seeing with this is as you're deploying and utilizing these solutions, oftentimes by leveraging SaaS platforms, you're getting the best-in-class solutions, which allows you to get updates continuously that are really vetted by industry feedback, so you're able to take advantage of a lot of that stuff. So really allowing your platform to evolve organically into the best version of itself by leveraging that solution there. We also see the ability to capitalize on integrations as a pretty important part of any technology nowadays. So as both Aaron and Pete has mentioned before, being able to leverage best-in-class solutions, decoupling kind of this generic solution approach towards solving for your team's needs has been something that's been growing. And as part of that too, you can leverage and lean on quite a bit of the work that these technology platforms and providers are being done in the background. So as Kevin mentioned before, and LD coming up soon, a lot of us on the technology side do talk to each other, and we have been working pretty hard to make sure that integrations and communications are happening so that it becomes pretty seamless to slot in and out and kind of integrate with best-in-class peers. So, consider using a platform that can integrate and leverage your existing tech stack to maximize your adoption and efficiency as well. As part of that too, it's also important to understand what is standard and what is non-standard. So as you're thinking through customizations and one-off builds, oftentimes there might be solutions that might solve for the initial reason that you are doing a one-off implementation that could come from buying a generic software. So important to understand and go back to what is the ultimate problem solving for the users, and thinking from there to build out what you are going there as well. And then similarly, it's important to learn what can be achieved versus what has already been built. So understanding where the platform is going, making sure that these are aligned with the best in class and kind of use cases there as well. Finally, I think around implementation, ensuring that your implementation does have outcomes every step along the way to get the max out of it and drive adoption as well. Oftentimes you are most likely not the first deployment, so there are abilities to leverage on what's been successful and what's been seen in the industry. While all commercial real estate investment orgs are different to an extent, there are some similarities as well. So the good news is that you're not starting at point zero in a lot of these journeys. There's best in class learnings. There's resources you can use outside to really understand how to really go about these change and allow you to kind of focus on the investment part of it as well. And over time, we've seen being able to avoid generic canned tools that forces your process to adapt instead of streamlining your existing process. That's something that we've seen happen periodically as well. So there's quite a bit of work you can do to automate the templatization and standardization of work too, as you build out your different data sources. Going through one example that we've kind of worked through, Oxford has been a great client of ours, and we've been partnering with them for a number of years now. Initially, they really approached trying to solve for a challenge of centralizing and improving access to real-time and historic data, and they want to increase efficiencies and process improvements in deal management workflows. So a big part, the first step for them really was recognizing that they do not want to do software development in-house, as it's not Oxford's core competency, and they would like to implement something for this. So it's been a great partnership with them where we allowed, the ability to reduce quite a bit of work there and automate quite a bit of things, allowing them to centralize and standardize their data workflow and kind of really allocate their time towards investment as well. And so with that, I'll hand it back to Hazel, who I believe will be playing the next part of this case study as well.
Yeah, thank you, Gary. So we're going to proceed to the video for the case study and then go to Q and follow-up question afterwards.
Dealpath came to us from our team saying this can make us better at our day jobs. With Dealpath, it gives us the opportunity to take in all kinds of data related to our acquisitions and then utilize it in a very efficient and seamless manner across our entire real estate business.
Blackstone feels strongly about leveraging the data across our business and utilizing the best-in-class technology tools to further propel our business forward, and Dealpath is that solution.
What Dealpath does is allow us to quickly and efficiently automate our data streams. It allows us to make quick decisions, which is really the key to investing at the scale that we do.
We spent a lot of time looking for the proper solution, both looking at generic solutions, deal platforms, and Dealpath was the clear winner. Dealpath plays a crucial role at both the beginning and the end of the funnel. What I mean by that is when we initially approach an investment, it allows us to systematize that data, and then it also allows us to carry that data all the way through to our disposition process.
Great. So going on with this theme of getting from where folks are just using out-of-the-box analytics that they might have today that are provided by different ERP systems or siloed systems, and kind of getting it into a place where they can use analytics in an elevated way and a step beyond what they're using it today. So for all those commercial real estate firms that might have really a treasure trove of data at their disposal, but not always stored in a ready applicable manner. For example, you might have something from your accounting system where if you had that data paired with something for your work order system or something from your acquisition pipeline, it would be very powerful. So what are some steps that you think are the most impactful to remove some of the inefficiencies and start standardizing data so everyone in the company has access to the data they need to make decisions and has the same view of the organization?
Yeah, so it's something we see a lot. So, going back to the basics as well with any strategy, I think it's important to think through what you're solving for and where your technology infrastructure is at that point. When we work with firms, we often see companies racing to build data warehouses and data lakes without really often taking the time to think through their end goals and what they're trying to get. So in situations like this, they are gathering and building quite a bit of data, but oftentimes they don't really know what pieces of data is valuable. There could actually be a lot of noise, which ultimately might not be a valuable thing for them as well. So as you're thinking through it, it kind of goes back ultimately to ensuring that you are solving for each of your team's workflow first. So leveraging, the right solution for that. As the adoption increases, you're getting the right valuable data in the solutions, and then using that to kind of put together a data strategy around how to warehouse and how to aggregate that together. As Kevin mentioned earlier as well, it's important to solve for needs first and kind of go from that as well. So with that, we do see that being able to integrate well and slot in and out of solutions using that is a key part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really great points on looking how the different groups work differently and looking at their workflow for that specific group and what they need instead of just really doing a broad application across the whole firm. So really great points there, Gary. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing with us.